Right then, this is a walk around video, and first of all I apologise, it's quite a windy day today, so either ignore what I'm saying and just watch the video. If you can't pick up on anything, then that's good, but unfortunately it looks like the forecast is not that great for the next few days, which means I'm having to do them regardless. This is a Lexus IS 250, top of the range SEL model, finished in this beautiful metallic blue, facelift version with the revised styling and interior on these. Just 60,000 miles, very well looked after car. Just going to go around it for you. Front of the car nice and clean, bonnet is generally very good. There is obviously going to be the odd light stone chip on the vehicle, but there's not much at all. Coming down the near side of the car first, and it's lovely and smooth in the panel work there. Again, later style alloys look really nice on the car. Panel work is generally very nice indeed. Around the back, they are fitted with parking sensors front and rear as well as the parking camera, so generally they are pretty good. Then offside, driver's side, again very smooth in the panel work. Back to the driver's side front wheel there. Just a couple again light marks on there, but nothing much given the age and mileage of the car. It really is a fabulous looking car. Just coming to the back of the car now, just as the wind picks up again unfortunately, but again all very nice indeed. Coming into the interior of the vehicle, lovely interiors on these ISs. Full black leather in this particular one's case, and it's in very nice condition. So front passenger door card, again as with all of them, very nice. Full set of original Lexus mats. And passenger seat, again electric adjustment, again all in very nice condition there as well. Coming to the front now, again, lovely and clean. Electric memory settings, 3 settings. And then the driver's seat itself is in very nice condition. So inside the car now, engine's running through this section so the dash can actually be seen illuminated. As I said, this is the facelift model. You can tell because the buttons on either side are flat, they don't have kind of little bobbles sticking out of them. Easy way to tell. Sat nav working absolutely perfectly. If I pop the car into reverse there, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera as well, all working exactly as it should. Heated and cooled seats on the SEL models, and it does look absolutely superb. Come to the main dashboard binnacle, lovely design, 60,429 miles, and there are no warning lights at all whilst the engine's running. But it really is absolutely fabulous in here. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, both here and present with the car. So finally, just to come under this wonderfully presented engine bay, as Lexus do ever so well. Really wonderful engines, more of which in the following road test video. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus IS 250, and it's the SEL model. This particular car is registered, if I can read it here, WK11WKP, and mileage at the start of the road test is 60,429 miles. The reason we do these videos is basically so that if anyone's looking at this car or any of our cars online in the adverts, they actually get to see the very car advertised in operation. The reason we think that's important is because to our own costs, we know just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look great in the photographs and in the description, but only to get there and drive it and find out it's got a fundamental issue which you'd rather have known about before setting off, so you could either factor it in or dismiss it. So that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads close to our premises, and this actually forms part of the road test anyone would go on. Reason for that is then we'd hope it'd be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car in question, simply wonderful cars, I have to say. The engine starts instantly, almost silently. It's a real marvel of engineering, this engine. It's so smooth, so quiet. It's got plenty of power. It's just the right size. The temptation surely for Lexus would have been to sort of go down sort of tax bands and everything, put in a little 2 litre into it, but it doesn't. It sits happily in the middle of where it kind of, where you really need it to be. But just a lovely engine to use day in, day out, because the power band is extraordinarily wide. The engine never sounds strained. When it does get even remotely vocal, it has a wonderful V6 soundtrack to it. It's extraordinary engines. Also, just worth pointing out, there's no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is just over 1/3, which is exactly where it's meant to be on one of these vehicles, and the engine's been running for quite some time now. Engine then feeds through into the automatic gearbox, 6-speed gearbox. Can be used in either full automatic mode, or you can use it in manual mode in a couple of ways. Lovely gear changes, incredibly slick. They're quite quick for this style of automatic, but a really lovely box, and it suits the engine because it's extracting, the ratios are set to get the best performance, but also the best economy out of it as well. As I said, you can. It is rarely used, in all honesty, the manual setting. Most people just chuck it into drive and leave it be. But you can, if you want, at any time. Doesn't matter when you're going to do it. You just pull the gear lever to the right hand side. It then speed matches you, puts you in the gear that's suitable for the speed you're travelling at, which currently is selected to be 4th gear. So now it won't change up or down unless I tell it to do so. So changing up, you can either do it a couple of ways. You can use the paddles here. Right hand paddle goes up, left hand paddle goes down. So pull it back, I'm in 3rd gear, so it accelerates away, change up to 4th, 5th and 6th, and then change down. You're doing those. Personally, I don't know why, but maybe because the armrest is so nicely positioned, I like using this. It's got a really satisfying mechanical feel to it. You just sort of nudge it forward to go up, down, that way. It just works really nicely, all working perfectly. Steering on the vehicle, really nice setup on the Lexus. Obviously being rear wheel drive helps, because it means that there's nothing polluting the steering as you're steering along via drive shafts. Really nicely done, because what they're giving you is the right ratio to give you sort of quick enough steering to make it fun, very accurate, very precise, really oily and nice in feel. It's really settled with the car. Some cars can be a bit too aggressive or just too slow-witted, and this is neither. It's absolutely perfect. Also feels absolutely tight. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel at this speed, or any speed up to the legal limit. Chassis of the vehicle, what it gives you is a wonderfully compliant ride, which is something you'd expect from Lexus, of course. It beautifully damped, body control's really good, so if you are in the mood, you can sort of go through a series of corners at speed, and it does reward. But what it also, as I said, it never feels unsettled, but it feels nicely balanced. It's, as I always say in these videos, its main competitors are obviously the C-Class, the 3 Series and the A4. I'm sure there's others, but those are the ones that most commonly spring to mind. If you want an out-and-out sports car, you always go for the 3 Series. I'm not going to pretend otherwise, but it is at the expense of comfort. They never truly settle, certainly the more sporty ones. The Lexus here gives you 90% of what the BMW gives you, but means that at all other times is incredibly comfortable. It's as comfortable as the C-Class or the A4 pretty much the whole time. But whereas the C-Class can feel just a little bit kind of slightly dull by comparison, and the A4 sort of very one-dimensional, this just sits in a very happy spot. But I completely understand that is a personal preference, but it's something that sort of loads of my customers have sort of seen borne out, who've had those other cars. There's also, by the way, no nasty knocking noises from underneath the suspension. There's no rattles. It's going to be checked it's going to have an independent MOT later today, so all these things will be checked. Likewise, brakes are really good on the car. I'm just going to give them a shove now, make sure I go around the corner a bit. But really nice powerful brake pedal. There's no pulsing, there's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel, so all good there. Coming to the interior, first thing you notice is just how quiet it is in here. It's very, very, very refined and quiet in the car. Also quite beautifully put together. It really is a wonderfully well made car. And I always say, it does frustrate me when the car magazines assess build quality on brand new cars, but that's only at that point. Most modern cars are well built. It's how they stay together over the years, and this is where the Lexus is absolutely sensational. It really is. It's also a lovely place to sit, because the dash layouts, whilst it's very highly equipped, it doesn't phase. It's very simple to come to terms with. And the quality, the tactile feel of all the switch gears, absolutely superb. Sat nav, you can see there, working perfectly. Air conditioning pumps out absolutely ice cold air, and it is dual zone, so it gives you different temperatures side to side as well. Heated and cooled seats, all checked, all working perfectly. Again, part of the SEL package, as is the electric rear blind. So a little button down here, which you just press there, and up she goes. And they're all working exactly as it should. Steering wheel, really lovely design, because it feels perfectly designed in terms of dimension. The thickness of the rim feels and looks like new in hand. Dash in front is very nicely done, because it gives you kind of they're obviously high quality, high class dials. It's just simple, minimalist information, all you need, and nothing more, nothing less. Sort of clicky feet. Everything I pressed works exactly as manufacturer intended, but as I said at the start of the video, the point of which, as brief as it might be, is literally just to show the car in operation. It really is an extraordinary car. They are lovely, lovely things to drive. This one has been obviously particularly well looked after, and whoever's lucky enough to get it next will take on a very fine car indeed, no doubt.